Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Timothy here with Mana Rocks, and we're going to play some Brawl today. They officially put Brawl on Arena. I don't know how it's going to work moving forward, but there's a launch event where you can just build a Brawl deck and play. I've already kind of played through the event, but you can continue to play afterwards. So we're going to play Brawl today. If you don't know what Brawl is, it's basically a combination of Commander and Standard. It's a 60-card commander deck, essentially. You still have a commander. It can be a planeswalker or it can be a legendary creature. But you can only play one of each card, and you can only play cards that are currently legal in Standard. The deck that we're going to go ahead and sling today is Huatli. Sun's Champion, I believe the card is called. Who knows? Yeah, the Sun's Heart. There we go. 2 and a hybrid green-white. This is the planeswalker that says your creatures deal damage based on their toughness instead of their power. So it's pretty straightforward how you build this deck. You just look for basically the cheapest, highest toughness creatures you can get. Note that Huatli does not interact with defenders the same way that Arcades did or something like High Alert does. So we're not playing any defenders in the deck. We're just playing high toughness, cheap creatures, and we're hoping to stick a bunch of those and then play Huatli and just kill our opponent. So in a lot of ways, even though we're playing a bunch of 0-4s and 0-3s and stuff like that, this is an aggro deck. It's very glass cannon too. I've played through, and I've probably won about half my matches and lost about half. Obviously, the more powerful decks like Niv Mizzets and stuff like that, Nicol Bolas's, they're just going to beat this deck most of the time because their cards are more powerful and they have access to more powerful cards, but Huatli can sneak a win, right? Your best starts involve like Arboreal Grazer and Yolk into like Concordia Pegasus or Daybreak Chaplain, and then turn 3 Huatli and you start beating, right? So I'm not going to go over every single card in the deck, but there are a few that I wanted to point out here. The main ones being kind of our backup win conditions outside of just normal creatures. As soon as I find them, there is Rally to Battle. So these toughness boosting abilities, right, that are normally meant to just keep your creatures alive, these actually become like huge instant speed overruns. Rally to Battle, 4 mana to give all your creatures +1/+3 and untap them. Essentially, giving all your creatures +3/+3 if Huatli's out. And then the other one being Tower Defense, which is probably one of the best cards in this entire deck. Just 2 mana while Huatli's out to give all of your creatures +5/+5. You can use this on offense or defense, and you'll almost always win that combat, right? Another card I really like in this deck is Brought Back, because one of the ways that your opponents can kind of get you and make it so that you can no longer win is by killing Huatli in the middle of combat. Sometimes you attack with a bunch of 0-power creatures, hoping that Huatli's going to make them deal damage, and then your opponent has an instant speed trick or burn spell or something like that that can actually kill off Huatli, and that means you're suddenly making a bunch of bad attacks. And then your opponent might make some really favorable blocks thinking that you don't have Huatli, and you can use Brought Back to put Huatli back on the battlefield at instant speed. Outside of that, there's a few more protection spells, things like Unbreakable Formation. There's a little bit of ramp in Selesnya Locket and Arcane Signet. I do suggest if you're going to play Brawl on Arena that you just go ahead and get an Arcane Signet. You can't open it while doing drafts or anything like that, but you can still go to the deck viewer and look up Arcane Signet and then spend a wild card to get it. Same thing with Command Tower, which you won't be able to open by normal means, but it's a common, so you can use one of your like 6 million common wild cards to go ahead and get it, right? The rest of the deck's pretty straightforward. High toughness creatures, basically anything in Standard I could think of that had really high toughness and we could cast really early on. And then a couple kind of late game beaters like God Eternal Oketra, Tristani Discordant. These are just really good cards that happen to be on color. March of the Multitudes can help you go wide. Also really good with tower defense, stuff like that. There's a Johnny here as well, which pays you off for having a bunch of creatures on board. And then a couple just kind of filler white and green cards, right? But, I mean, what other deck are you going to play Yolk and Lockvane Gargoyle if not Huatli? So, I should say my approach to Brawl is not to build the most powerful deck or the most competitive deck, but to do something that's fun, right? So, even though I don't think this is, you know, even close to like tier 1 or 2, it can hold its own, and I think it's fun to play and it's unique, right? I'm not a big fan of just 5-color Niv Mizzet best cards in Standard. Like, that's not how I like to play formats like this. So, we're going to go ahead and run this Huatli Sun's Heart deck into not a Brawl League, obviously, but let's say 5 matches, right? We'll see if we can go with a positive record for 5 matches. And see if green-white can take down some of the competition. So, with all that being said, first things first, if you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do so below. Leave a comment if you want, and if you like this Brawl content, please let me know so I know whether to, focus on making a little bit more of it or not. If you have a suggestion for a commander that you would like to see me build a deck with in Brawl, or maybe you have a deck list that you can send me, please do so, because I'd like to see what other people are interested in watching. And I have basically every card on Arena, so Brawl is pretty easy for me to build without using too many wild cards. On top of that, if you want to find us on Twitter, you can do so at MTG_ManaRocks, and I would love to chat with you there as well. So let's go ahead and play some Brawl, shall we? I will see you all in match number 1. All right, welcome in. We're here for match 1. We've got a very slow hand, but we are on the play. We actually don't have any 1 or 2 drop creatures, despite having a bunch of them, and we're against Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge. That's the artifact-based one that gives your planeswalkers and, I believe, creatures affinity. I don't know that this is a win in hand against that sort of deck, but I'm going to keep it due to the interaction that I have here, and Vivian can be a little bit of card advantage as well. A lot of times, the gig is up when you show Huatli as your commander, so it's not like you're concealing very much information by, not doing something or another. Also believe white is a little bit more important in this deck than green, despite having the double green creature in my deck. I have things like Tomic and a lot of white creatures. So our opponent's probably just going to have tons and tons of cheap cards, is what I would guess. Cheap artifacts, and then they're going to look to stick Tezzeret and start busting out bigger artifacts. I don't know, I haven't seen this one yet. Pretty cool card. Spires, or Spirit of the Spires, one of the filler cards, but decent, right? Let's go ahead and play Vivian. Opponent could also be playing Counter Magic here. I could see this getting... Ooh, Tail's End. That's a pretty good one for Brawl, right? Well, now my hand doesn't do anything, which is a little awkward. I need a land for Spirit of the Spires. Thankfully, there aren't a lot of dead draws here. I don't have too many cards that cost 5 or more. Scuttlemuts. Okay, Arcane Signet is fine. I'm going to go ahead and Glass Casket this Scuttlemutt just to turn my opponent's ramp off. And if they stick Tezzeret anytime soon, I can hit it with a Conclave Tribunal, so that's kind of nice. If my opponent's missing a land drop, they can use Bag of Holding to kind of start digging for lands. Also, Bag of Holding is just a great card. Does look like they are digging for land drops, would be my guess. I'm assuming this sort of deck might also just have a bunch of expensive artifacts. I can't even think of, there might be, Ugin or Liliana, stuff like that. We drew our 5th land. Let's go ahead and drop Keeper of Fables while our opponent's not holding up Counter Magic. And if this can start getting in there, I'll feel pretty good about it. Not quite a powerful Huatli draw, per se. Haven't drawn none of the 1 or 2 drops. We've got, maybe 10 to 15 of them. Renowned Weaponsmith. This taps for 2, but only for artifacts, so they can't cast this next turn. Once Upon a Time, not amazing outside of your open and draw, but I think what I'm going to do here is go ahead and jam, see if our opponent wants to block or not. If not, draw a card. Nice, and then I'll probably just play Spirit of the Spires. Again, this is kind of a filler card. It's just a good green card, right? If you're building a green commander deck, or a green Brawl deck, then you can play this card without feeling bad about it. It's slightly better with Huatli, but it's not really one of the key cards. So I think I'm not doing anything instant speed here. I'm not going to try to be tricky. I'm going to go for Once Upon a Time here first, and then if I don't hit anything super relevant, I'll take the Spirit of the Spires. I'm going to take Tristani Discordant for sure. Play Spirit this turn, play Tristani next turn. And that sets us up pretty nicely. Our saving grace this game being that our opponent has not hit a lot of lands. We stumbled for 1 turn, but we got that Arcane Signet, and we found some more land drops. I think we were absolutely correct to take our opponent's mana dork away. Granted, this does tap for 2 mana for artifacts, so they can start playing artifacts, but Corridor Monitor, that's pretty nice. Untap Weaponsmith. Get to use Weaponsmith again. Sweet little combo. I'm going to start beating in the air, though. And on the ground. Note that your life total in 1v1 Brawl is 25. I believe in 4-person, it's 30. Ooh, Thought Erasure. Not good. So our opponent had a really good turn there. That means they're going to be able to cast Tezzeret next turn. I'm going to get in probably a big chunk of damage this turn. And our opponent's aware of the Conclave Tribunal. I guess I could they took Conclave Tribunal. Interesting. I was about to say I could Conclave Tribunal this Firemind's Vessel and keep them off of Tezzeret for another couple turns, which I think is why they took it. But this does also mean I get to go ahead and play Tristani, and if they don't have a sweeper, that's going to be a lot of damage coming in. Opponent ditched Fibblethip to the graveyard. Alright, so if I play Tristani, this is still not going to be a March of the Multitudes turn. Our opponent's aware of the March anyway. I can play Tristani, but not Huatli. I could also play Huatli and March or something like that, but I think I just want to play Tristani here. This is going to be 3 in the air this turn, plus 5 on the ground if my opponent doesn't block. And I could see them going like Tezzeret into like Ugin next turn or something like that, and then I'm actually in a decent amount of trouble. Because Ugin would be powerful. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 artifacts on board. So currently, if they manage to cast Tezzeret this turn, all of their artifacts and planeswalkers will cost 5 less mana. What else could there be? What else is in Standard that's like a really powerful artifact that I'm not thinking of? I guess there's like God Pharaoh's statue, which I wouldn't be too worried about. I don't think my opponent has the time to cast that. Oh, it's creatures and planeswalkers, right. Not artifacts and planeswalkers. Okay, so yeah, that happens. So just to read this real quick, besides the static ability, +2 deals X damage to each opponent, and you gain X life, where X is the number of artifacts you control. -3, return target artifact from your graveyard to your hand. -8, exile the top 10 cards of your library, put all artifact cards from among them onto the battlefield. So I'm not worried about the -8 currently. Mostly worried about like what big beefy creature they could affinity out here. They don't have any more colored mana. Okay. Using the Bag of Holding, sure. Alright, Chromatic Lantern under the bag. Emery, pretty good as well. Emery's going to mill them for 4. And then Emery can tap to choose an artifact in their graveyard, and they can cast that artifact that turn. I don't think Bolas's Citadel is quite going to be good enough. I love that animation. It's so cool. Alright, let's see what we draw, because we might just be close to killing them here. They have 2 blockers. I'm wondering if I even go for Tezzeret. Alright, I think I'm definitely playing Huatli, and then what happens? They go block, block. They take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I think we should probably just kill Tezzeret. Or rather, if they don't block, let's say they just block with this here. They take 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So they're not dead. Let's go and play Huatli here. I'm going to play my land. I'm not even going to use Huatli's ability. I normally don't do this. Actually, I probably should once. I don't think my opponent's going to... Yeah, my opponent's not playing an aggro deck. If they were able to pressure Huatli, I normally don't even activate the ability. And let's see, we want to send 5 here. I would have to send 3 more creatures at Tezzeret to guarantee that it dies, right? And I think I want to do that. It just puts me in such a good position. They can't recast Tezzeret unless they draw a land. They don't have much going on if they do. These are just chumps. And I'll send Keeper of Fables at them. Actually, you know what? This makes more sense. Let's send Keeper over here. And let's send the Spires at them to guarantee that I draw a card from Keeper. Because they could theoretically block the Keeper with a creature, let Tezzeret die. But I want to make sure I'm drawing from my Keeper of Fable, so I'm going to send the Spirit creature at them. And I think they're in pretty bad shape here. If Tezzeret dies, they're not looking so hot. They can't even really eat a creature. I mean, they could double... Like, the best they can do is double block a soldier token, and then they lose Emery. Emery can tap to play like Bolas's Citadel, but their life total is going to be low enough that I don't think it's going to matter. They're going to be at 12. Tezzeret's going to be dead. And that's if they don't chump with Emery, of course. Okay, so Emery is going to block Keeper. Oh, did I miscount? Oh yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay, so I'm actually dumb. They do lose both these creatures, but Tezzeret actually gets to stay on board here. Why did I think I sent enough damage at Tezzeret? I needed to send the 5/5 over there. That's what it was. I sent an invasive creature thinking that that was guaranteed damage, but it wasn't. Alright, so actually Tezzeret gets to live, but we killed Emery, which is relevant. We killed an artifact. Really, it comes down to what these 2 cards are. I mean, something like a Meteor Golem would be pretty what? Pretty good. Tezzeret can gain him some more life. Yep, there's Ugin. Ugin's going to go ahead and probably gank Tristani, I would assume. Maybe Spires. Ugin just killing one creature here is not really that great. Okay, sure. Alright, opponent's going for the Bolas's Citadel here. What was that? What was that all about? That was crazy. Alright. They can use this for a single black mana. Yeah, okay. This is a little bit risky. I mean, what they're going to use is Ugin to filter a card off the top if they hit a land, right? So I'm guessing that's a land. Or a spell that they don't have enough to cast. So if they ever hit another land on top, they basically just brick. 6 mana to cast Lockmere Serpent. Putting themselves down to 6. 2 mana to cast Tome. And they can draw a card here to filter another card off the top. Oh yeah, Lockmere Serpent. Yeah, that's pretty good. They still need to somehow deal with this, and they do not. So I made a pretty grave miscalculation, left Tezzeret alive, but I think their life total was low enough that Bolas's Citadel really didn't matter there. Sweet deck from the opponent. That is one thing I kind of like about Brawl, is you see a lot of different decks right now until, you know, people establish what the quote-unquote best decks are. You might see a little bit more of those, but pretty sure it's just like either of the Niv-Mizzets in Standard. Anyway, we take down match number 1. Again, not the most aggressive Huatli draw. That was just like an okay green-white beatdown draw with like Tristani and Keeper of Fables, but gets the job done, and we will see you all in the second match. Alright, here we are. We are against Niv-Mizzet Reborn. Expect to see a lot of that. It's very popular. For a good reason, it's good. I think this hand's good, mostly because Once Upon a Time can find a green source. It's, again, not super aggressive. If Once Upon a Time finds like a Yoked Ox, I'm just going to play that. Normally, we can get pretty far ahead of this deck. If they don't have ramp, it's pretty bad, but they normally play a bunch of sweepers as well. So let's go ahead and play Once Upon a Time, because if we do grab a land, it could be a tap land, and we want to play that. Evolving Wilds for a forest. I don't necessarily need a forest right now. It might just be right to take Tristani. Arcane Signet's also green source. I'm going to take Tristani here. Tristani's just so powerful. Who knows? This deck could be playing some sort of mind control. They're probably going to start with a bunch of tap lands, artifacts, and then maybe get like a turn 4 Niv-Mizzet off of one of those. That would be my guess. And that's what I've seen so far. Is this is mostly board wipes, powerful removal spells, stuff like that. Bedevil, you know, Casualties of War, Time Wipe, Deafening Clarion. These are the type of cards you can expect to see out of this deck. Powerful single target removal, powerful sweepers, so on and so forth. I'm going to play... I think I just want to start bashing. I'm going to play War Screecher, and then I'm going to play Huatli next turn. And then the turn after, maybe like Signet into something else. Yep, here come the Scry lands. Here they come. Alright, let's go ahead and play that. Let's play Huatli and attack for 3. Brought Back's pretty nice to have if they do have sweepers. So once they get to a larger number of lands, like see, they've already got the turn 4, whatchamacallit ready, turn 4 Niv-Mizzet, which means we're already in trouble. But Oketra's pretty good too. So let's go Signet into Vivian. Attack for 3. Go ahead and see if we find a creature underneath Vivian. Okay, so I guess Yoked Ox is the best of these. Gilded Goose is not terrible either. Yoked Ox is just the most rawly powerful in this deck, though. I guess if I wanted to block Niv-Mizzet, that's a consideration. Worth mentioning that there is no commander damage in Brawl as well, so I don't have to worry about this hitting me like 4 times, although if it does, I'm probably dead. Ooh, I was just about to say, my opponent needs a 5th land to actually cast whatchamacallit. They're going to kill Huatli. I'm going to put it in the command zone. That's fine. And then we're going to play Oketra. Yeah, they had a tap land as their 5th land. And I'm probably just supposed to kill Vraska here with War Screecher. This is not going to be a bad turn, though, at all, because what we can do is go plus on Screecher. And remember, we can flash in our creatures because of Vivian's static ability, so our opponent's probably cast a Niv Mizzet next turn, and then we're going to go Aketra plus Yoked Ox, which seems pretty powerful. I forgot this was a 1-3. Thankfully, that was enough to actually kill this, not a 3-3. Let's see if Niv Mizzet comes down here. It does. And let's see what they get off of it. I expect to see a bunch of cards that are going to make me regret my life decisions. So they get Tolsimir, Tameo, Thought Erasure, or Enter the God Eternals. One or the other. They don't get both. And they took Enter the God Eternals. Okay, that's not bad. Let's go Oketra. And then flash in Yoked Ox. Oketra will make a 4/4 whenever I cast a creature. I don't think Tameo's going to be good enough. Oh, they scooped, yeah. All right, nice. They scooped to the Oketra. Oketra was coming in for 12 damage next turn. Actually, if I just play Huatli there, if they block Oketra, they take 4, 8, 11, and Niv Mizzet gets eaten by Oketra because it's basically a 6/6 double striker with a Huatli. And then none of these cards really get them back into it. If they don't block Oketra, they take 12, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, so we didn't have lethal on them if they just chumped Oketra, but that puts them in a pretty bad spot. Nice. Alright, we got to beat the Niv Mizzet deck because they stumbled on a land for a turn. Puts us at 2-0, though. Not that we're playing for any particular record here, but that's more of what I expect from my Huatli draws, right? Play some Yoked Oxes and get in there. Anyway, match number 3 coming up. Alright, match 3 is up. We're against Nissa, who shakes the world. This is another just very powerful card. It's, you know, they get to play like a Great Henge. They get to just play a bunch of stuff, and they usually have a bunch of mana ramp. My deck's not well suited to beat it if they can get this out earlier than we would expect. They did mulligan, however. They get a free mulligan, so that doesn't really matter. And we've got a pretty slow start with Daybreak Chaplain being our best card. See if they got the Gilded Goose. They do not. No Goose. Let's get Chaplain down. So pretty nice curve. Chaplain into Huatli into Beast Whisperer. The one saving grace here of mono green is that they don't actually have a lot of removal. Ooh! If we can cast this, this is really good because it shuts off Nissa's +1 ability. Tomik says lands on the battlefield can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control, and this is, you know, target to put 3 counters on a land and turn it into a creature. So Tomik could shut that down, even though I am short on a mana source here. I'm short on a white specifically. I don't think they're going to be able to pressure Huatli much here. So next turn we've got Beast Whisperer, and then we're really hoping to just slam a white source. If we draw Plains, then that's going to be great. Granted, they still get the double mana. Thicket Crasher. Alright, so it looks like they went a little bit more elementally, I would guess. I'm going to attack. I don't mind trading for this Thicket Crasher. And then play Beast Whisperer. And I don't really... Oh, I guess they get to... Ooh, I'm actually glad they're trading. I was just thinking, if they get to untap, play Nissa, they could kill Huatli, and I don't really want that to happen. Granted, they can still play Nissa next turn and attack for 3, but I think I'm in decent shape here. Fortifying Provisions makes this big enough to block. Could also trade Beast Whisperer for a Forest if I really want to, but I think Tomik's just really good to get down. Yep. I assume they're going to jam on Huatli here. Don't really want to trade. Maybe I should. If I had another Plains, like, we'd be in very good shape. Unfortunately, a bunch of white cards aren't going to do it. I could spike a Plains here off the top, but the best I can do is play 2 mono white cards. So I think what I'm going to do is go Rock Charger, hopefully hit a Plains, and then War Screecher. If I don't hit a Plains... Ooh, perfect, perfect, perfect. War Screecher. And question now... Oh, I'm 1 off for being able to use this. Do I trade or offer the trade for Beast Whisperer on Nissa? I don't really think I do. Can I kill them next turn if Huatli survives? I don't think Huatli's going to survive, but with Tower Defense and Huatli on board, that's quite a bit of damage. They're just going to untap with so much mana here. There's nothing I can really do. I'm just debating whether or not I block a 3/3. This is a scary turn, though, because they have so much mana. They have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, probably 14 mana total. And they have card draw online now. Okay. I think I'm just supposed to let Huatli die. Put 3 on up to 1 target 9. I don't think they can even activate this +1 ability. Oh, Voracious Hydra. Gross. Yeah, we're not winning this game. They just kill Beast Whisperer here. That's why this card is so good. It usually comes out on turn 4 because they almost always have a mana dork. Yep, I'm going to let Huatli die. I don't think I can win because I'm not getting to a place where I'm going to be able to play Huatli and use tower defense in the same turn, and I just don't have enough of a clock right now. Yeah, look, this is disgusting. This is like turn 5 for them. I wasn't able to kill this. If I had Tomic on board, that'd be a different story. So I can play Tomic now. And then I can go Conclave Tribunal, I suppose. 4, 8, 12. Yeah, I can survive another turn. They still have plenty of mana. So if I go Conclave Tribunal, attack for 2. I mean, if they -8 this, does it really matter? Lanes you control have indestructible, search your library for blah, blah, blah. I don't need to Tribunal this, because I don't care about the -8. They come in tapped, right? And it's really going to come down to whether I can kill them next turn anyway. They're going to be at 20 life here. If next turn I draw a land and I play Huatli and tower defense, is that enough? That's 3, 6, 9 plus 15. That is enough. So that's the out, I guess, is to go Tribunal. Or I could also go Fortifying Provisions, not that this does very much, and then Tribunal, since I'm not blocking anyway. They might just -8 Nissa. I'm banking on them not having anything relevant in hand, which is crazy already, but... Alright, let's go Provisions. Oh, I'm dumb. Alright. I needed my creatures untapped to, I should have just cast Tribunal. That was bad. Well, I had an out there. I would have needed to draw specifically an untapped source to be able to play Huatli and tower defense in the same turn, and I would have also needed them to not have something like the Green Cavalier with Reach. Asking quite a bit, right? They can't plus Nissa, so there's a chance they go -8 there, which doesn't really do anything, right? Because I'm dead the next turn anyway, even without the extra lands. But I kind of threw my chance of winning that game there, which is fine. We take a loss here. I think that's 2-1 so far. Let's play 2 more matches, and I'll see you in match number 4. All right, we're back. Another pretty slow hand, but a bunch of powerful cards. We're against Oko, the Broko. Oko's very annoying, but I think it's fine. As long as they don't have Gilded Goose, right? Oko is not as broken in Brawl or Commander as it is in Standard, right? Because you don't always have, like, the Goose and stuff like that. It is, however, still very good. Let's go and just grab up Plains now with this Evolving Wilds. And we will ship the turn. No Goose, no Goose, no Goose. Alright, still no 2-drop, so we're going to be off to a slow start here. But we get to play Ironroot Warlord, which is essentially a 5/5 in our deck, but has, you know, a little bit of a mana sink. Did not expect Persistent Petitioner. Well, that's pretty interesting. This could be a Petitioner deck. I haven't seen Oko really be the commander of the Petitioner deck. It is another popular one, Gadwick or a mono blue commander with just a bunch of Petitioners. What are you doing here? Making food? Turning my guy into a 3/3? I guess I'm fine with either of those outcomes. So I play Huatli and attack this. I can also play Gilded Goose. Yeah, I think getting Huatli out underneath counter magic is pretty good. I'm going to attack Oko here. Okay, so putting it down to 1's pretty nice. Gilded Goose is really good in this deck because it's a 1-mana accelerant if you draw it on turn 1, but it's also just like a 2/2 flyer for 1 mana with, you know, more mana sink capabilities. Another Petitioner. So it's interesting to have Petitioner in a non-blue deck and they concede. Alright, yeah. Nice. Suck it, Oko. You Scourge, you terrible, terribly designed card. Whoever designed Oko, look, you're cool in my book, but You messed up. Anyway, Oko Petitioners really didn't get to see what that was all about there, but we got the golden goose, not them. So, what do you say? One more match, and we call it a wrap. We're already 3-1. Maybe we can take it home with the 4-1. And yeah, I will talk after that match. See you in match number 5. All right, welcome back. We are against Chandra, Acolyte of Flame. This is the 3-mana rare Chandra, the one that lets you recast instants and sorceries. So I'm expecting a quick mono red deck. I think our deck is fairly well suited against red decks, just because we have high toughness creatures. We also got this Once Upon a Time in our hand, which is always just really nice to have in your hand, especially when your hand's already keepable. Hushbringer is a little bit of a non-bow sometimes. There are ETB effects, things like Tristani, but it does enough work, and with Huatli being just a 2/2 lifelink flyer is nice. And we're off. So yeah, if you want to read this Chandra real quick, if you're not familiar with the card, go for it. I won't stop you. One thing to note about Once Upon a Time, and this is not just a Brawl specific thing here, but you do not need to cast Once Upon a Time on your first turn. If you're not going to cast a spell, you can wait until you're going to do so. See, even though I'm saying that, I was probably wrong not to, because I might just find a tap land off of Once Upon a Time, and I want to get that into play, right? But now I have a little bit more information, right? My opponent doesn't have a 2-drop. I have a little bit more time here, so maybe I can use Once Upon a Time to find something else. I do want to do it now, though, because I'm going to cast another spell, so I want to go and get my free Once Upon a Time and try to find whatever the best is against mono red, I suppose, is my goal here. I assume I'm going to play a creature and it's going to get shot down. Like, if I play Hushbringer here, probably going to die. Alright, we have some options. I could go Grazer to ramp ahead. I could go Grazer. I can only grab one of these, though. Ironroot Warlord seems very good against red. Grazer gives me that ramp capability, though, which would let me go, like, Forest into Ardenvale and get ahead. Gilded Goose kind of does the same thing, but it's more vulnerable. I think my hand being as good as it already is, I should probably just take Warlord and look to curve out. Grazer lets me go 2-drop and hold up brought back next turn. I guess that's not true. I only have one white source. It's kind of tough. I don't think it's Gilded Goose. I don't think it's Keeper of Fables. I think Ironroot Warlord's probably just really good against mono red. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to go and get Castle. I guess I can play a Forest here. And Hushbringer. If my opponent kills Hushbringer, I'm not actually that worried about it. And it might just randomly, like, shut off some card here. Like, if they use a removal spell in Hushbringer, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so that was going to kill Concordia Pegasus regardless. This Chandra being able to come down and reuse this Chandra's Triumph is kind of annoying, though. So maybe this is a good ramp turn, right? Let's go Castle Ardenvale, and I can play Warlord, and then they go Chandra -2 on Chandra's Outrage. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play... I guess I could play Pegasus here. No, actually, let's go Locket and pass. I want to be able to play Warlord and Brought Back in the same turn. Because if I just go... Ooh, Sarkhan. They're like mono-red planeswalkers. Here comes the dragon. Busted dragon. And it's a 5/4 because of Heraldic Banner. Alright, well, I was expecting like a mono-red beatdown deck. This is more like a mono-red planeswalker control deck. Which means I'm probably going to die. No longer feeling very good about this. I can go Spirit... Or I can do the same thing where I go Warlord and hold it Brought Back, because they're probably going to go for it. But I'm on such a big clock now. This is 10 damage a turn off of just what they have on board. Like, I guess best case scenarios, they go Chandra minus Chandra's Triumph, my guy, and I Brought Back. And then maybe I can kill Sarkhan. Yeah, I think that's what they're going to go for. This gives me a shot. I do need to play Huatli next turn for that to actually work. So they're going to minus on Chandra's Triumph. Oh, they're going to put loyalty counters on their walkers. Huh. Okay. So they're going to attack with the dragon then? Interesting. So Warlord's probably just going to go ahead and kill their Sarkhan. Which means I have to play Huatli. But I get to go Huatli plus Brought Back now, if they kill Huatli. Because here's what I'm guessing happens is... I don't think there's a 2-mana... They could have Fry. Oh, if they have Fry... Alright, so we attack here. They could have a 4 damage spell. Is there a 2-mana 4 damage spell? Because this is going to take 1... Okay. Alright, so Sarkin dies. And then I don't really want to use this ability. It would gain me, what, 1? Oh, it would gain me 5. I think... Because I could just play the Pegasus here, let Huatli die, and then next turn replay Huatli and hold up Brought Back, but have extra protection with this Pegasus. But then they have the option to go Triumph on this thing. I am under quite a bit of clock. This is already a 3-turn clock here. Do I want to gain life, I guess, is the question. Yeah, let me go ahead and gain my 5 life here. Because they can kill this Huatli anyway. It would be a shame if they just sent a bunch of things at Huatli. The difference now is they don't have to send as much. Like, they could 0 this, make 2 tokens, send those tokens at Huatli, and then just attack me with the dragon. But I think doing it this way means I just want to play Concordia Pegasus. Maybe not. Brought Back might just be more important. I mean, best case scenario here is that they go minus on Chandra's Triumph to kill my Warlord, and then they attack Huatli to kill that, and then I get to Brought Back both things, and it's basically like their turn didn't happen. Them giving up Sarkin there was kind of interesting, though. Maybe... I'm reading this right? Creature, Chandra, if you control Chandra Planeswalker. Maybe they didn't remember that this would deal 5 damage to something if they used it while they had this Chandra on board. They were also debating something at the end of the turn here. I'm not entirely sure what. Alright. Oh no, that... Wait, hold on a second. That does not kill it. So they have to use another spell here on top of it. This is going to get exiled, though, so that's a little bit worse. Okay. And let's see if they want to kill Huatli here, because I will use Brought Back on Huatli, I think. Maybe not. They could also just go for me. This is 9 damage at me. Yeah, they don't even care about Huatli. They've had a pretty good draw. I mean, they're just playing all the best red cards, so that's expected. And we are in dying range. Oh, okay, that's a card. I think my best bet at winning this game is to just stick these 2 creatures. Hope my opponent doesn't have, like, an insane turn or anything like that. I probably should have used Huatli again to gain 4 life. Alright, looks like they're going to go for the minus on Chandra now to get my Spirit of the Spire out of the way, and then I don't think there's a way I can win the game. That being specifically Lava Coil and not just a burn spell really hurt here. Being an exile effect and not having my card go to the graveyard just completely destroyed me there. Maybe my opponent gets greedy here. I can't even kill him with tower defense with what I have on board, so I'm not entirely sure what my plan is here. Whatever it is, it's not great. I need them to get a little bit greedy and not kill one of my creatures. It looks like they are going to, though. Either one does it, but they should probably do Lava Coil. Kill Spirit of the Spires. Sure. One step behind this game, unfortunately. Not really a great opportunity to hold up Brought Back there. We had it that one turn, but it didn't really work out for us. Let's go ahead and take our 5 and go down to 6. Again, they're not attacking Huatli. Bone Crusher Giant coming down. And, okay, well, if there is a card that could win this game, Oketra might do it. Problem is, I don't really have a good answer here. So I guess what I'm supposed to do... Oh, I can't hold up Brought Back either. This might be fine. Okay, let's go Oketra. And then gain 6 life. And then kill this Chandra, right? Although maybe we can kind of... No, actually, I think I'm going to try to use this tower defense to kill their creatures here. Hopefully they go Chandra on, like, the Outrage or the Triumph or something, and then I can use tower defense to block and kill their 2 attackers. If they make 2 elemental tokens, that doesn't seem like that big of a deal. The alternative is to go ahead and attack Chandra now and kill it. And then what? I have Oketra back on defense to block this. This doesn't untap, right? No. And then I take 5. Maybe that's right. Maybe I kill their Chandra here. Because it would cost... They would need to hit a mountain and use their whole turn to go this, plus whatever removal spell they're going to use in their graveyard. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and attack and kill this Chandra here. And then tower defense seems very relevant here against a mono red deck. Like, them just recasting Chandra doesn't seem like the best bet. And if they do, I'm pretty happy because it doesn't really change very much. Bone Crusher Giant can't currently get through God Eternal. They could have a flurry of burn spells. I'm essentially at 7 because of this dragon. Jaya. Okay, well, that makes things deal additional damage, right? So what are they going to do here? Kill Huatli with that? Maybe? So just to double check, if a red source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals that much plus 1. Okay, so I'm taking 6 here. Is the name of the game. And then this can minus to deal 2 damage to any target. Okay, I think they just have enough burn in hand that they're going for it this turn. That was not a particularly great draw. Options, I can attack with Oketra. I think I need to crack Locket and find something here. Not even sure what I can find. Unbreakable Formation. That's actually relevant. Not if they have direct burn. They only need 2 points of burn because this can deal 2. I guess I could attack here. Or I could do the same thing. I could send Pegasus here. But then I'm just dead in the water. Apparently I already played a land as well. Yeah, so I could kill Jaya, but then I don't have an answer to this. I could go Unbreakable Formation, kill Jaya, and then have a blocker. But then I'm dead to... Am I just dead to Chandra? Yeah, because it can make 2 tokens. I might just be dead to Chandra anyway. Right? Because those tokens are going to deal 3 apiece. I think I'm just dead. Because this can 0 to make 2 tokens. And if this is on board, I can only block 2 things. I take 6. I think I've got to hope my opponent just messes up here. Which I don't think they will. They have Mobilized District as well. Note that Brought Back brings creatures back in tapped. So if for some reason they go like pre-combat kill spell, it's not going to work out. Yeah, maybe they go for like a risky line here or something. We don't have a good answer to anything that's happening, but okay, they're going for it. They didn't go for the Chandra. So I think we go block and then I guess Brought Back just to get it back. That doesn't get us ahead on board. I could go tower defense to try and eat it here and then they respond with a removal spell, but I don't have much else that I can really hope for. Okay, that's a start. So basically traded 2 mana for their token. Jaya can put us down to 2 and then we can see how they kill us from there. There goes Chandra with not quite enough to do anything. Okay, so now we have to kill both of these, essentially. And I think we're going to be able to do that, right? Or they can chump block. So I can kill one of them for sure. I think I need to kill Jaya because it's just 2 damage on board. So I think what I'm going to do is attack both of them. Hopefully they chump block with this. And if they don't, both the Planeswalkers die. And then I get to play enough blockers post-combat that I think it's going to be fine here. So do I want to give my creatures Vigilance? Do I need to? Or do I want to hold that on defense? I think I need to go attack here to guarantee that Jaya dies. Attack here and then let my opponent make that choice. I think they're going to block Oketra. Right. And then I need to be able to deal with 2 tokens here. So I go Yoked Ox. Unfortunately, I can't play the Temple Garden untapped. So I can't keep up Castle Ardenvale. But I do have 2 blockers, and I have an Unbreakable Formation in case they have like a removal spell. They do have Mobilized District, though. So what they can do here is go make 2 tokens, activate Mobilized District, attack with all 3, and then I can't stop that. Let's see if that's the line they're going for. Chandra's Regulator. Oh, so that lets them copy abilities of Chandra's. So they're going to make 4 tokens here. Interesting. Alright, so I think I'm going to die. In fact, I'm guaranteed to die here. I can't let any of these tokens through, and unfortunately I can't make any more blockers. So, good game. Yeah, so this lets them pay an extra mana to copy an ability of a Chandra. And I think that's going to go ahead and do it. I'll give him the GG there. Well, we were close. We were close. I feel like I was dead at any point there, but we actually have so much damage on board that we might be able to just kill him in like 1 or 2 hits. Unfortunately, I don't have a way to kill my own Huatli, so I can't like replay it and gain more life, which would have been very, very relevant. But I think our opponent was maybe right to ignore Huatli and just try to kill us as quick as possible. But there you go. You see the deck, right? Green, white, butts. I don't know what you want to call it. I've enjoyed it. It seems like something that not a lot of people are going to be playing, and it can really just crush people who are going for risky mana bases and things of that nature. I'm also just a big fan of these play styles because it turns kind of Magic on its head and turns these designs into really powerful cards. And having this in your command zone and being able to always draw it is just nice, right? It's kind of like Arcades as a commander, but if you played Arcades in Standard, sometimes you don't draw the Arcades and your deck doesn't do anything. At least if you're playing Commander or Brawl, you always have access to this effect when you need it, right? So a very glass cannon deck, not super, super powerful, but good enough to hold its own, and I think we demonstrated that by going 3-2 with the deck. If you would make any changes, or if I forgot any creatures or something like that that I should be playing in this deck, let me know in the comments below, because I just kind of did a quick paw through all the green and white decks when I made this, or green and white cards in Standard. I might have missed a couple things. So let me know in the comments below what you would add or take away from this deck, but you did get to see kind of the greatest hits of the deck, right? You got to see the Yoked Ox, and you got to see the Tower Defense, and so on and so forth. But yeah, that's going to go ahead and do it for this first Brawl video. Might make this a series if I get enough feedback on it. And again, you can let me know in the comments below which commanders you want me to play. That can be any Planeswalker or legendary creature that's currently in Standard, even the ones that came from the Brawl specific deck. So let me know in the comments below what you think. Let me know what you want me to play. I will whip together a deck for you, and might even shout you out if you're the one who suggested it. Find us on Twitter, MTG_ManaRock. Subscribe below if you like this content, and stay tuned for more from ManaRock. So again, this is Timothy here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.